Electric scooters, 3D organ printing, flexible smartphone displays, and of course, the cryptocurrency market emergence. All these things inexorably bring about a bright future. However, it is no time to put on your rose-colored glasses, since any future, no matter how dreamy, has certain downsides. This time, we'll be looking into who regulates the dark region of cryptocurrencies and how. Over the past few years, cryptocurrency has stopped being viewed as something new. People have figured it out and began to actively pursue the benefits of blockchain. But nothing lasts forever. After the collapse of Bitcoin prices in 2018 by 85% compared to the peak of 2017, most people began to perceive the crypto as another economic bubble. However, time is marching forward. Bitcoin hasn't been forgotten, and the mining farms are steadily warming up their owners' houses. Cryptocurrencies brought chaos to the world's economy, and recovering from the initial shock, the governments of most countries began to actively develop a system to help legally regulate this unknown industry, thus the appearance of the very ominous regulators. There were no doubts left in anybody's mind about the kind of game that lied ahead, one with clear and transparent rules. Before we dive into the depths of regulatory subtleties, here is a small example for you to understand how many companies had their own prototypes of cryptocurrency for decades. In 2018, American Express gave out more than $8.4 billion as a reward for membership. This could be equated to the emission of the third largest cryptocurrency. That is to say, American Express issues its own money equivalent, generated each time an Amex cardholder completes a transaction. So cards, like cryptocurrencies, are volatile depending on the time and purpose of use. Here's another example that's been right under our noses the entire time. The United Airlines customer loyalty program. The accumulated bonuses are fully equivalent to cash when you buy tickets or pay for the services of the company. Today, the turnover under the loyalty program exceeds $5 billion. If it were cryptocurrency, it would become the fourth largest in the world. So, what conclusion could we draw from this? Perhaps the fact that private storages of exchange units have long been generally accepted, and no one's tearing their hair out because of some hidden threat to the global monetary system. Most countries have already gone through the stages of anger or denial and moved on to bargaining. Bargaining with the court of public opinion and the legal system as a whole, since it is rather problematic to introduce something that has never existed before in a long-established system. With this in mind, we will move on to talk about regulatory activities in different countries, starting with the United States. Recently, in the US, all activities related to cryptocurrencies are under a watchful eye of several departments all at once, and here is a brief overview of their activities. Firstly, digital currencies with the properties of securities are regulated, as you might have guessed, by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. This is an organization that, on one hand, has approved a fund based on Bitcoin futures, and on the other, continues to turn away companies that want to launch cryptocurrency-based ETFs. Besides, the SEC suppresses the activities of startups that conducted unregistered ICOs. Next on the list is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, which manages commodities and crypto derivatives. Another Bitcoin blocker on the blockchain is the Federal Deposit Insurance Commission, FDIC, because it controls the participation of banks in the field of crypto assets. And the cherry on top is the Office of the US Treasury Department for the fight against financial crime, FinCEN. In fact, the CFTC, FinCEN, and the SEC recently issued a joint statement stating that cryptocurrencies should function similarly to bank operations and comply with US financial service laws. Politicians aren't slacking either. Congressman Paul Gosar introduced the draft Cryptocurrency Act of 2020, which defines the roles of regulators and names the types of crypto assets. Listen, we should keep in mind that in an effort to quickly develop these very rules, regulators and legislators, not only in the US, often go too far. They overstate the risk or downplay the benefits. It shouldn't go without saying that money laundering, terrorist financing, and human trafficking are some of the main global threats, and the use of cryptocurrency can make these threats even more real and tangible. So of course, for the sake of regulation, more and more new rules are being introduced, some of which contradict the very true nature of cryptocurrency. The FATF, the Anti-Money Laundering Financial Measures Development Group, has obliged the Bitcoin exchanges and other crypto market players to counter money laundering and terrorist financing in the same way as ordinary financial companies. In other words, This obliges FATF participants to ensure the local crypto exchanges interchange user data, such as information about the sender, recipient, and their digital wallets. In general, the regulatory environment differs from state to state. Like in the state of New York, cryptocurrency companies must have a BIT license. Last fall, in the States, the IRS, for the first time in 5 years, updated their tax calculation guide for crypto investors. Yeah. Having looked at things in the US, let us turn to the regulators in Canada. Recently, the Canadian government obliged cryptocurrency firms and their partner banks to register with the FINTRAC, Canadian Financial Analysis and Reporting Center, as a precaution. In Canada, Bitcoin exchanges are distributors of money transfers, and accordingly, they are required to comply with the Know Your Client / anti-money laundering rules. Besides that, the trading floor should identify the senders and inform the regulator about all transfers of over 10,000 Canadian dollars. When it comes to European countries, things are much stricter. After all, the crypto industry is affected by the 5th EU Anti-Money Laundering Directive, adopted on July 9, 2018. According to this directive, national financial investigation authorities can obtain information about the identity of the owner, and financial institutions are prohibited from opening and maintaining anonymous accounts. The UK is not far behind in terms of crypto market regulations either. In 2018, the government published a detailed guide for cryptocurrency owners. Moreover, in the UK, crypto companies must register with the Financial Service Authority, FCA, as well as obtain an e-money license, and the profit from operations with cryptocurrency is taxed on capital gains. As for China, in addition to the People's Bank of China, cryptocurrencies are regulated by the Cyberspace Administration, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and the China Securities Regulatory Commission, just to name a few. After the cryptocurrency industry was outlawed in 2017, China again has returned to its leading position on the market, especially after Xi Jinping announced that he supported and encouraged the development of blockchain technology. Also, recently the head of the PRC Financial Bureau emphasized that only the central bank of the PRC can issue digital currencies. And last on our list for today is Japan. As you might know, the land of the rising sun is one of the most progressive countries when it comes to new groundbreaking technology. Therefore, the government isn't monitoring cryptocurrencies so strictly. After all, while crypto was banned in China in 2017, in Japan, it was recognized as a legal means of payment. However, after the infamous hack of the coin check exchange for $533 million, the regulation of the industry gradually became harsher. In particular, the local financial services agency has introduced compulsory licensing of trading floors, and the latest standards will take effect in April 2020. As outlined in our brief review, 2019 brought some global changes and events that severely impacted the industry. The crypto market gradually regained strength, and Facebook finally presented their ambitious Libra project. It became an alarming red light in the eyes of the public, cueing everyone to take the bulls by the horn, so to speak, and outline clear boundaries. The Libra project is a stablecoin, meaning that it is linked to stocks of ordinary currencies or physical goods. It is because of this that its exchange rate is subject to fewer fluctuations, which is why Facebook's latest creation was perceived by state institutions and banks as a lightning bolt amidst the clear blue sky. Discussions about risk to monetary policies and the stability of the global financial system flared up immediately across the globe. Having completed our review of 2019, let us move on to what we can expect this year. According to Forbes, 3 issues regarding crypto regulations will come forward in 2020. The first issue is cryptocurrencies being a potential threat to the monetary policy. This apprehensive thought has been around for more than a year, and it is time for governments to express a clear position and outline ways to level this threat. The second problem, as it turns out, most countries are not ready for the rapid development of digital currencies. The third and final problem, probably the most significant, is the government's and regulators' firm belief that the global use of cryptocurrencies will deprive central banks of their ability to control the money supply. Well, besides that, the launch of Libra was the most particularly concerning, but such apprehensions are not strictly tied to the technology itself. In July last year, US President Donald Trump tweeted that he did not consider Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies to be tantamount to ordinary money since they are extremely unstable and are not backed by anything. In addition, he mentioned that crypto can facilitate illegal activities, and partly he is right. the darknet is still an issue, and same as other shady loopholes. Well, we all know the current bank system is still more infested with criminals than the cryptocurrency market, all due to the novelty of this technology. Recent studies from the analytical companies Chainasis and Elliptic show that less than 1% of the exchange transactions with Bitcoin are associated with illegal activities. Yeah, that's right, less than 1%. And after all, almost every major crypto exchange is registered on the Financial Crimes Prevention Network and has the corresponding state licenses, as well as undergoes annual inspections, the same as regular banks. Since this is a green and unexplored industry, it is hard to adapt it to the existing bureaucratic system, and most countries currently execute policies aimed at tightening the screws. Dreams of a decentralized market and free economy so far remain only dreams. But this year has just begun, and that means the crypto industry has many interesting events emerging, which you can learn more about on our channel. So feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and click that little bell icon to not miss any news in the world of blockchain and crypto. Before you go though, please note that this content does neither represent financial, legal, or tax advice, nor is it supposed to be understood or interpreted as solicitation to buy or sell any securities, coins, or tokens.